Welcome. As we see the Epstein files dropping day by day, I am focusing on the other life of Epstein, which is very intertwined. But I want you to understand the deep state world run by the people who employed and associated with Epstein. In videos 1, 2, and 3, we learned he met Rupert Murdoch while tutoring his daughter in the 70s. Another student's father referred Epstein to Donald Barr, Bill Barr's dad. Barr hired him at the ritzy Dalton College. While at Dalton, Epstein befriended the most powerful fathers, specifically Alan Ace Greenberg, CEO of Bear Stearns. Greenberg hired Epstein when he was fired from Dalton. It is believed Epstein met Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine's father, through his teaching at Dalton. Epstein was mentored by James Cain, and you can find out the dirty details in the filings of that relationship. Drugs and prostitutes. Robert Maxwell was a triple agent for Mossad, M16, and the CIA. Maxwell also had close links to the KGB and Soviet leaders. He was also involved with Czechoslovak communist leaders to smuggle aircraft parts to Israel. Let me take a minute to ask you to please follow me and subscribe. It really helps me to know your interests. Video 4, we look at the Intercontinental Assets Group, IAG, where Epstein was able to establish essential collaboration with intel agencies around the world. It is believed Maxwell was part of Epstein's indoctrination to secret agent. New testimony from Ari Ben-Menashe, alleged former Israeli Mossad, claims Epstein was recruited as early as the 1980s by Stephen Lease to work for British and Israeli interests. The theory is that his prodigy status made him the perfect fixer who could speak the language of scientists and CEOs. 1981-1987. After leaving Bear Stearns in 1981, Epstein founded the Intercontinental Assets Group, IAG. He described himself to associates at the time as a high-level bounty hunter who recovered stolen money for the ultra-wealthy. Multiple sources, including former Mossad officer Ari Ben-Menashe, claim that Robert Maxwell personally introduced Epstein to the Israeli intelligence community. Maxwell himself was widely suspected of being an asset for several intelligence agencies. During the late 1980s, Epstein is alleged to have helped Robert Maxwell manage and hide money through his firm International Assets Group, IAG. This group was marketed as a high-level bounty hunting firm for recovering stolen funds, but critics claim it was a front for clandestine financial transfers. According to a 2003 Vanity Fair profile and recent 2026 document releases, Epstein openly boasted to friends in the mid-80s that he was a secret agent or an intelligence asset. It was later revealed that during this period, Epstein carried an Austrian passport under a fake name, Marius Robert Fortelny, a common tactic for individuals moving through sensitive international zones without being tracked as U.S. citizens. The discovery of a fraudulent Austrian passport in Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan safe during the 2019 FBI raid provided tangible evidence of his high-level international movements during the 1980s. By using an Austrian identity with Saudi residency, Epstein could move between the Middle East and Europe while brokering defense deals, like the Al Yamama arms deal, without being officially documented as an American citizen. Based on the DOJ files released in late 2025 and early 2026, there is a specific link between the Fortelny alias to the Al Yamama arms deal, the largest defense contract in British history. Epstein was introduced to his business partner Stephen Hoffenberg by Douglas Lease, M16, one of the architects of the Al Yamama deal. Lease reportedly used Epstein to handle securities, money laundering, and arms sales. Stamps in the passport show Epstein traveled to Paris, Nice, Malaga, and London in 1982-1983. These locations were the primary negotiation hubs where BAE officials and Saudi royalty met to finalize the Al Yamama payments. Hoffenberg alleged that Epstein was a master of layering, breaking large sums into smaller, non-reportable amounts across dozens of shell companies. The 2026 DOJ files identified over 40 subsidiary entities linked to IAG that existed only on paper to receive these fractured payments. 2026 Discovery. A newly unsealed 1989 memo from the Bank of New York found in the safe with the Austrian passport shows a compliance officer questioning a $12 million transfer to IAG. The file contains a handwritten note at the bottom. Per E, do not pursue. Account is under special review. In January 2026, Senator Ron Wyden expanded the investigation into these banks, stating that the failure to flag Epstein's 1980s money scrubbing likely provided him with the initial wealth and intelligence immunity he used to build his later trafficking network. So we now know from all of his experience with the CIA, Mossad, and M16, he was well versed with these agencies and how to go dark if and when he wanted. We also know that by the end of the 1980s, Epstein was well versed and an expert in international trade, that his social circles were that of royalty, rich CEOs and politicians, that he had cover by the CIA, Mossad, and M16. The file contains a handwritten note at the bottom. Per, do not pursue. Account is under special review. In January 2026, Senator Ron Wyden expanded the investigation into these banks, stating that the failure to flag Epstein's 1980s money scrubbing likely provided him with the initial wealth and intelligence immunity he used to build his later trafficking network. So we now know from all of his experience with the CIA, Mossad, and M16, he was well versed with these agencies and how to go dark if and when he wanted. We also know that by the end of the 1980s, Epstein was well versed and an expert in international trade, that his social circles were that of royalty, rich CEOs, and politicians, that he had cover by the CIA, Mossad, and M16. I hope this helps you understand that Epstein and Trump ran their trafficking, but this organized web of corrupt, rich old men is far beyond what most of us expected. The disturbing thing is that the more that comes out, the more defiant they become. Till video 5. May peace be with you.